Hey guys, in this vlog I'm gonna be doing two things. After work I stopped by a coffee shop to fix some moderately dumb bugs that I introduced in my app recently, but also to kind of wait out the weather since I came into town by bike and it wasn't looking very rosy. And number two, I actually received quite a few items all at the same time that I ordered for my home office improvements, so I'll be doing some unboxings and setting everything up when I get back home, or hjemme as Norwegian would say. After a practically non-existent summer this year, we're going very confidently towards fall around here, and I'm working hard on creating the perfect work from home setup so that I don't really have to commute all that much. And when it comes to that bug that I mentioned, I'm working on my window manager app for the Mac, and I recently was implementing a new feature. Okay, no problem with that, but instead of pushing those changes right then, I was like, you know, let me do some cleanup and improve performance here, just a little bit, you know? And yeah, that was my downfall. So yesterday I tried to fix it real quick, but there was no quick solution to the mess that I made. So today I need to roll up my sleeves and implement the God's way of doing state management, and that's a state machine. So in this vlog I will not be wearing my usual Apple Developer Tools hater hat, since I feel like I'm getting a better grasp of Swift. I decided to take this project a little more seriously and kind of try to make it into a profitable business maybe by the end of the year. I made plans to implement some premium features, but first I want to make sure that the codebase is cleaned up and ready for these changes. Recently I stumbled upon this concept of a one-person business model, which kind of intrigued me, and I want to see if I can make it work. The main idea is to focus on creating a number of small, self-sustainable projects that you can manage yourself instead of one big risky startup. But anyway, here's the new feature that I've been working on. It's the ability to center a window using a keyboard shortcut Command-Alt-C. And as I was finishing up the coding, it looked like it stopped raining for a brief moment, so I thought this was my chance to pack it up and go home. Alright, so back home the first thing I wanted to unbox is the 300 watt monster of a charger that Ugreen kindly sent me. Apart from the charger itself, they also sent me some really nice braided USB-C cables. And at first I thought I wasn't gonna use them for what I planned to build here. The reason is I actually bought the 100 watt version of this same charger a while ago myself, and together with it I also got a bunch of these short cables that proved to be very handy. I used it to charge devices on my desk, but now that most of my desk is occupied by the monitors, I'm gonna be creating a dedicated charging station over here on the shelf. So I set up the charger on the shelf and I connected all of my little gadgets to charge at once, which was so cool, but then it looked a little bit messy with the short cables, and so I reconsidered the long cables that they sent me. I also remembered I had a couple of these little cable guides, so I put the charger on the bottom shelf and I routed the longer cables from behind, and I was so much more happy with the result. But since after some time of filming the camera also needed to be charged, I decided to call it a day and continue tomorrow. And if you guys are in the market for an absolute unit of a charger, check out the link in the description. Tomorrow morning, I started with unboxing the monitor arms, because this was one of the most highly suggested improvements in the comments on my previous video. I wish I could mount them to the wall for a super clean look, but unfortunately our landlord doesn't really allow drilling the walls at the moment. I chose the simple metal arms because I kind of like the minimal look and I don't really have the need to adjust the monitors. This type of monitor arm is quite affordable and they are very sturdy, not a hint of wobble at all, which I really appreciate. I got rid of my DIY cable management and I was so happy to finally use proper cable brackets and tidy everything up. Oh, by the way, did you guys watch the new Apple event? What do you think of the new iPhone? Honestly, I wasn't all that impressed, even though some people here like to call me out as an Apple fanboy. I mean, I don't really consider USB-C a reason enough to switch, and as far as the camera improvements go, I find it very odd that they added a 5x zoom only on the Max model. It feels like very few actual new features this year. What do you think? But when it comes to my humble desk, my theory here is that when I get the desk shelf, the shelf legs will more or less cover the two monitor arms and it should look kinda clean. I spent a bit more time cleaning up the codebase after this and preparing the app for the release. I really enjoyed working with this new setup. And now for the final improvement to the desk, I decided to spend the money and get the monitor light bar. I'm a night owl and I do a lot of my most productive work late, so after watching some YouTube videos and recommendations, I decided to get the BenQ Halo. I was worried how it would fit on a dual monitor setup, but it turned out to be pretty okay. They do supply a plastic spacer specifically for curved displays that pushes the light bar further away from the screen to avoid hitting the sides. And I did try it out, but after some testing I realized it doesn't really make a difference for my setup, so I just removed it. My favorite part is the wireless dial. It allows you to set the brightness as well as temperature for the light, and it even has an automatic mode. It also comes with a light at the back as well to illuminate the wall and reduce the contrast. But the thing I love the most is that I could just power it off of the monitor's built-in USB-A port, which is really great for reducing clutter. It does get very bright, and after testing it for a few days now, I found that I actually use it on the lowest setting. But here for the video it's set to 50% so that you can get a good idea on what it looks like. Do you guys think I made good improvements to my desk setup? I'm so grateful for the feedback you provide, since none of these things are exactly cheap and I'm working really hard to make some meaningful improvements, and so I rely on you guys to help me make the right choices. And if you liked the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.